What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today it's a green day over here in the cryptocurrency market, which is a sight for sore eyes. It's been really just kind of a washing machine over here for the last week for Bitcoin. Yesterday, quite red with the crazy Litecoin Walmart hoopla that happened back there. But today the prices have really kind of recovered and gotten back up to kind of the height of where that was, at least for Bitcoin. So in today's video, we'll actually be taking a look here at the Bitcoin price chart, and I wanted to show you something that went on back in here for Bitcoin, and it's similar to what I'm kind of expecting to happen over there in the total market cap of crypto. Now, questions still up for debate on what's going to happen for Bitcoin here. It's still beneath all of these retracement levels. I've gone into the structures of this many times that I do expect Bitcoin to set one new high, but I'm not in the belief that a lot of the mainstream stuff is that we're going to 100,000, we're going to 150. I think it could just be somewhere there between 70 and 85,000 for Bitcoin, and that's so long as we can get through those retracement levels. My main focus right now is if the total market cap does break up higher, then I think a lot of that would actually be attributed to the altcoin market, which is how I have my investments placed. So I have that bias as well, as I have placed my investments in that strategy that the altcoin market will outperform Bitcoin. But one of the things I really wanted to dive into is what was going on with Bitcoin back in here and what is going on with the total market cap of crypto right in here. Now, we've dug into this way too many times to count, but for those who are new to the channel, we were looking for this price level right here to be the thing that would hold for the total market cap, where we have a double tap on top of the all-time high with a bull flag, breakout, back test into the bull flag with a V bottom out of here. Typically, volatility does show up back here at these all-time highs, but still looking for this market to break out even higher. As you guys should know, we've been using the rally prior to the capitulation of Bitcoin back in 2018, which led us on our way to a 4.236 Fibonacci extension. Shown many examples of this, of how this has played out in the past. I've created videos on my YouTube channel talking about this phenomenon prior to it occurring. Also over there on bcbacker.com, when I'm talking about my exit plans, I talk a lot about this phenomenon as well. And that was recorded over a year ago for a lot of those videos that discuss this phenomenon. So it's nothing new. It didn't just happen magically. This is something we've discussed, but that my expectations are that the market will break out and go for one final big push up. But let's zoom in on what's going on here in this structure that we've had going on in here. And I was talking about Bitcoin right up in here, and I want to just kind of zoom in on that as well. And we can see the similarities of what happened with Bitcoin's correction in here and what's been happening in here. That the thing I've kept talking about during this entire correction period in here is how we have the big fall, double bounces, sideways, capitulation, doesn't set a new low, and then off it goes. Well, what occurred with Bitcoin back in here? You see the big fall, the bounces, sideways, capitulation, doesn't set a new low. It works its way all the way up, and then it goes on to set one bigger high and then ranges here as it distributes, and then it ends up crashing, right? One thing we can look at here for Bitcoin as well is what was happening with Fibonacci retracements during this time period, right? Because we've moved our way up beyond Fibonacci retracements over here on the total market cap. And as you can see in here, you can see how Bitcoin got above all retracement levels, came back down into the retracement levels. That's similar to what we've had happen over here in the total market cap as well. So we got above all the retracement levels and have now come back into them. And as you can see, it was working its way under here. Then it got a clear break a second time through that last retracement level that sent it on its way, which is where we are at with the total market cap. You can see how much initial work that Bitcoin had to do here underneath this 702 retracement right in here. You can see how much work the total market cap had to do underneath the 702 retracement here before it got its breakout, pullback, breakout, pullback. And if you remember, we've been talking about IOTA a lot from back in 2017 and what it looked like when IOTA broke out and went into its final big ending bull run right there. All the same things that happen in here, right? You have the crash, you have the bounces, you have the sideways, capitulation, doesn't set a new low, comes back up here, fights against the 702, then it breaks out above all retracement levels, big fall back down into this level, and then it had to work through this before it broke out. And that's what we're seeing over there that happened for Bitcoin earlier this year. And what we're seeing for the setup right now for the total market cap is that we would be right in there for the total market cap of all of crypto. And that this does line up similar to the things that I've been talking about, that they're really kind of only expecting one more real big push in this market before the market really kind of cools down for a couple of years. But structurally, we see all the same setups occurring here over here in Bitcoin. You see the new low that was set. You see the new low that was set after the initial fall, bouncing sideways capitulation, no new low, no new low, and then off it goes into the retracement levels at the same places that we have happening right now in the total market cap as we did for Bitcoin. And what happened? Really just one more big push. Yes, it did mess around up in here while it was distributing for a while, but the bulk of this push all occurred right here on this breakout in here where Bitcoin went up 50%. Beyond that, after that moment, there was not very much left, just 11, 12% beyond that moment. You know, the big question here, too, though, is like if we look at Bitcoin, we see how long this distribution was right in here, right? What would that look like over there in the altcoin market, right? Would that actually look like all of them really just giving that much luxurious time up there at the tops to be able to sell out of everything? Typically not. That's typically not how altcoins work. They'll go firing up and then they'll come right back down. So would we have our rotation time period that's happening in here, right? We have a lot of coins that are already leading. We have a lot of coins that are already lagging. If we did have some distribution up there for the altcoin market, would that be the rotation time period where not everything is hitting its tops at the same time? You know, before you know it, a lot of stuff could already be completely done and already in its bear market. Especially I'm referring to the ones that are already very high. And that's, you know, from my memories of living through alt seasons, what it's like. It's that people are just, you know, running away from one thing and chasing and jumping into another thing. That's usually what it's like at the end of these alt seasons when things are absolutely mad. And we just don't have that happening to an extent right now, right? I see a lot of people over there on Twitter, people who are former XRP people saying, sell all your XRP and dump it into this altcoin that I'm shilling you, or sell all your ADA and put it into this altcoin that I'm shilling you. And that behavior usually gets ramped up in a big way because everybody's trying to take the liquidity away from the big cap coins. So I don't know. That'll be hard. It'll be interesting when we get through it. If you remember recently when we had the SHIB, Doge, Elon coin, all that kind of crazy stuff happening, it's like that, but on steroids for everything throughout the market is what it was like in 2017 at the very end. And then, of course, one thing missing here is XRP. So is XRP going to swallow a lot of that at the end like it has historically? And speaking of XRP and Ripple, well, today the SEC chair, Gary Gensler, is going to be speaking in front of the Senate. So, are there going to be any fastballs that are just thrown straight down the middle for him to smack out of the ballpark? Are there going to be any softballs that are just lobbed at him so he can just take a big grand slam swing? You would expect that there would be, considering how Elizabeth Warren has been doing these public letters for Gary Gensler and replying publicly, and it's all just been kind of this theatrical show. But the really big question is, are there going to be any curveballs that are thrown at him? Are there going to be any questions in there about Ethereum's free pass? Is there going to be any questions in there about what's going on with Ripple and whether or not this regulation by enforcement and surprising people is the right way to do things? Or are we just watching theater and they've all got their agenda on how this thing is all going to end? I guess we'll kind of get a better idea of that once this is over later today. But the Securities and Exchange Chair, Gary Gensler, is going to be speaking with the Senate today. It's going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 1500 UTC. According to Jeremy Hogan, I think we should be expecting that it's going to be him coming out swinging pretty hard, with Gary Gensler coming out swinging. I'll read this to you what Jeremy Hogan has to say about Gensler's initial statement is that crypto exchanges are selling what we believe are securities. Make no mistake, we are coming after crypto exchanges, and there will be no warning shots or clarification first. So, will this get questioned by the Senate? Will this get grilled by the Senate? We're going to maybe find out today. But as for the price charts for today, Bitcoin's price still in this range right in here. However, on the upper side of the range with a green day today, with Bitcoin nearly at 46,500. I thought it was interesting to show you guys what this looked like back over here and how that reflects what we're seeing over here in the total market cap of all of crypto, and that from our Fibonacci retracement perspectives, we're doing the same thing that we saw happen for Bitcoin back here in earlier this year, earlier in 2021. As we got above all retracement levels, it still had to work its way here here for a little while. Seems to be the same thing we're doing over here on the total market cap. And that's precisely what we saw happen back in 2017 at a chart we've been staring at and referencing to this whole time has been the IOTA price chart. How much working out there was right in here, which we can see happen for Bitcoin back in here. And we can see working out in the total market cap right now. So still just a waiting game. But if it does do this, right? I mean, take a look at what happened here. There was just a sudden big breakout in Bitcoin. There was a sudden big breakout in IOTA. And well, is that what's on the horizon now for the total market cap? Until then, we're just stuck in this range waiting for something to happen. But you can bet my eyes will be glued to this, watching this for the rest of the day. So we'll just kind of wait and see what happens there. If you remember what happened with Bitcoin, it didn't necessarily happen in the altcoin market back in 2017 for that breakout to occur, but there was timed news that also happened when Bitcoin had that breakout. Now you have to remember those price expectations that I've had for that time. Bitcoin, remember I always said I was going to sell my Bitcoin between 45 to 58,000. It wasn't anything unusual for the prices to get there, but a narrative came along with it at the same time, right? At this particular spot that we're at for the total market cap of crypto, when Bitcoin was there, the big Tesla buying Bitcoin news came out at that time. So is there going to be some type of crazy news that comes along with it at the same time? Who knows? I can't predict that kind of stuff. All I know is that is exactly what happened with Bitcoin. So we shall see. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and wrap this thing up for today. I hope that you're having a great day. Fingers crossed for something positive to come out of this SEC Gary Gensler thing with the Senate. But all right, guys, I'll wrap this thing up. If you're looking for something to do, of course, you can check out my website over here, which is bcbacker.com. This is my course that I put together where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs and the different altcoin market cycles, tying them all together to show the extensions of how this market has worked in the past. I talk about my personal exit plans in here and teach you how to set up your own charts and your own indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro so you can do your own charting and analysis. Talk a lot about Fibonacci retracements and extensions in here. I also talk a lot about percentages and mathematics and why those things are so important to me. I also did include a market update in here recently on August 31st, right down in here. That's available to anybody enrolled in the course and anybody who newly enrolls. And you can check out all of this educational content over here on bcbacker.com. You can follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And of course, I want to thank you so much for watching my channel. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.